Okay, everybody. I apologize for being kind of offy here for a while. I was sick with bronchitis, so I couldn't be in here cooking in the kitchen and stuff. But we're gonna do a lemon icebox pie and Swiss steak with rice today. I scheduled a chicken dish for Saturday. I've never made it, so it's going to be a challenge for me. But it's Havana chicken with black beans and rice for the sides, plus a little like salad thing on the side. And then next Tuesday, I'm going to do, instead of salmon patties, they're going to be made out of canned tuna, which is cheaper. And I'm going to make the homemade macaroni and cheese and some cream peas. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this. And as you come in, I guess you can kind of catch up. I already preheated my oven to 350. And I did go ahead, because it's so hot here, I did go ahead and bake a homemade graham cracker crust. And what I used was, it was two of them, the Great Value brand graham crackers, honey graham crackers. And I crushed those up. You know, you can put them in your food processor, or you can put them just in a bag and just, like I did, and I put them just the rolling pin over until I got them real fine. And I melted almost a stick of butter, quite a bit, but it gives it a better buttery taste. And I put 3 tablespoons of sugar in there, and I mixed that up good. I did oil this last pie pan a little bit before I baked it. I baked it for 10 minutes on 350 and took it out. So it has to be nice and cool when you go through doing your filling. So the filling I have over here, I'm going to be doing, I've got 8 ounces of cream cheese. And I did go ahead, like I said, and started the oven at 350 for this Swiss steak. But I have a whole 8 ounce package of cream cheese in here. And I have 1 of the cans of the sweetened condensed milk. This just happens to be the Great Value brand, because you don't use any sugar in this at all. I want to make sure I get all that in here. And this is we're gonna beat this because it has to set after you make sure your crust is cool. And if you don't want to use graham cracker, you can use a regular pie crust, or or you can even use, some people make this out of with vanilla wafers. So anyway, I just chose to do the cream cheese and the condensed milk, because this is one that doesn't, you don't have to bake them. This is a lemon icebox pie. You do not have to bake it. So I'm going to turn the mixer on for a minute and blend this together. And again, this is a package of cream cheese and a can of sweetened condensed milk. And it's going to start turning pretty white looking. It's going to kind of lose the yellow that it had to it. Now then, I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of vanilla. And I have about, let me get a spoon here. A teaspoon of grated lemon peel in there. And I have a 1/3 of a cup of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice. Make sure you strain it and so you don't run into seeds or the pulp. You want that out of there. And then we're going to mix this up. Okay, I'm basically done with my mixer. So I'm going to set it over here where it's out of my way. And Like I said, if you weren't here when I first started, I took 2 packages. It was a box of the Great Value brand graham crackers, honey graham crackers. There's 3 packages to a box. I took 2 of them and crushed those up with a stick of butter. You can use margarine also, and 3 tablespoons of regular sugar, and make sure those are crushed. And I put it in this grease, lightly greased with just, I told you, with a little paper towel with vegetable oil on it. And I set my oven at 350 and I baked it for 10 minutes. You take it out. It has to be totally cool before you can put your lemon mixture in. Also, I have about like this of the graham crackers left that I did. I'm going to sprinkle these on the top with, I also mixed up, I have a few strawberries that I just took in half with the stem on them. And then in this, it's just a little bit of sour cream, powdered sugar, and a little bit of vanilla to make dollops on the top of this. But I cannot do this until this sets up a little bit. They tell you actually to get another spatula to let it set up in a couple hours in a very cold refrigerator, or a little longer, but at least 2 hours to get it. I mean, it's thick, but you want it to be cold and to where it's going to slice pretty, and you can put your toppings on it. You can use regular whipped cream if you want to, but I think the sour cream with a little bit of powdered sugar and vanilla in it just gives it a little bit of wang on the top of there. You're just going to take and spread this out in this, and this is a glass 8-inch pie thing here that I'm using today. I mean, you can use the bigger ones, but you may need more cream cheese. You may have to use like a package and a half, and just do another half a batch of what I just give you the ingredients on for it. So that way you'll ensure you have enough filling. But I think by the time you get the dollops of the, or even just the whipped cream or the sour cream, sorry, on the top, and the, excuse me just a minute, I need to put this back. I got to put this in the refrigerator and let it get cold, and I'll bring it out after I'm done with the Swiss steak and show you how I can, sorry, I didn't mean to bump that. I'm getting used to moving this around. So you all can see what I'm doing here. Okay, I think you all can still see what I'm doing here on the stove. I think, let me move it back a little bit better. Here, maybe, there we go. There we go. So anyway, like I said, the oven's at 350, it just beeped. This is a glass dish I'm using. I'm going to take here, I have a little bit of vegetable oil and 2 tablespoons of butter. Then I'm going to take, and I'm actually going to saute an onion. Let me get this going. 1 medium onion, and I chopped the green pepper for the topping for the Swiss steak. I already cooked off white rice. You can actually serve mashed potatoes and gravy if you would rather have that than the rice. Is entirely up to an individual's preference. I'm going to turn this up a little bit so I get this going. And I'm going to let this cook down a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead, the back burner has got vegetable oil in it. I'm going to go ahead and let it start getting hot back there. When this is done, I'll move it forward, because I'm going to take the cube steaks, which I've already took, there's 6 of them, and I took and defrosted them. I blotted them pretty dry, and I actually took and spread them out pretty good with any kind of a woody instrument or anything like that. And there's 6 of them here, and I got parchment paper in between them. I'm gonna just lightly, let me get this out of the way. And rinse my hands out. I'm gonna lightly flour, or not lightly flour, I'm just gonna lightly cook them in with a little bit of salt and pepper. But I can tell you to take it easy on any salt that you put in this, because in this bowl I have 2 tablespoons of butter. I have a large can of tomato sauce. I have a large can of diced tomatoes. I put 3 tablespoons of sugar. I also put garlic powder, Italian seasoning, and thyme and pepper. I just guessed at those. Guys, I didn't put any additional salt in because it's pretty salty. And I also used a cup of, I only used a half of bouillon cube, and I use that with the hot water. So it's because it called for, well, I've always used a little bit of beef bouillon. Let me see if I can move this to where, get y'all in here a little better. I think I was better back here. There. I think that's a little better. And you can see better what I'm doing. So anyway, this is just the green pepper and the onion I've got sauteing, and 2 tablespoons of butter and a little bit of oil. And I'm just basically wanting to soften these some. And then, like I said, in this bowl here is a large can of tomato sauce. I'm not talking about the big ones, just regular, like for your veggie size, like your corn and green beans come in, or peas. And one of diced tomatoes. And if you can get the ones with low sodium or no salt added, that's best. And I used a cup of water that I dissolved a half a beef bouillon cube, and I got it hot, dissolved it. And I have 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter. And I used black pepper. I used a little bit of sugar, Italian seasoning, and thyme in here for the seasonings, for the sauce. And what I'm going to do, when I get this done, I'm going to stir the sauteed onions and green peppers in with the sauce. And this is going to go on top of the meat. And like I said, the oven is at 350. And that's when I'm going to bake it out. And I already cooked white rice earlier. It's so hot here, and it takes a lot of time. I can't do everything on here step by step, because I don't know how to pause and restart these videos like some of the cooking shows know how to do. I'm not that much into technical stuff. So anyway, I might eventually learn that. So these are getting pretty soft. And it doesn't take much time at all. And like I said, don't salt anything till you're ready to serve it, because I really think you're going to have plenty of salt content from what's in this sauce. Because I taste it. You can taste it after you mix it, and you're going to find out it's really pretty salty. I think you're going to be surprised. Then I'm just going to stir this in, and I'm going to go ahead and move my pan up here. And I've got it between medium and high, a little bit of medium. I got it about between the next 2 notches up. Turn the back burner off. And because this is a bigger burner, and I get a bigger, actually between medium and high until this oil starts getting a little hot, so I can fry that meat. So I took anyway, and it's got all this stirred together. This is going to be your topping. Oh, one other thing I did take and add, I took 3 tablespoons of flour and dissolved it in some hot water. Beat it with some just whisk so there's no lumps. And I stirred most of that in here so it'll thicken. It won't just be runny and run off your rice or your potatoes, whatever you're gonna use. But again, we're gonna do that last. Let me check this. Okay, it's already, like I said, I'm not doing anything but going to lightly brown this meat in here, 2 at a time. and a little bit of vegetable oil. And I'm not gonna put any salt at all. I am going to use a little bit of pepper, but I'm not, going to put any salt in here because I think you're gonna get enough, salt content. I just taken and sprinkled a little bit of the pepper, and it's gonna go all over. See, you get there. And it's not gonna take these but a little bit to, brown up, and you want to do them quickly. And I patted these out some. And you're going to want to just take, and they don't have to be brown. You want to just get some of the blood out of them. You can also do this with the round steak and tenderize it, cut it in pieces, and pound it out with a meat pounder, and then you can do the same thing. It's whichever. I just got a real good deal. Well, for the last 2 weeks, they've been having a really good deal on cube steak. I don't know why, but they are. And the roast, for some reason. They've been cheaper than buying ground beef, which I think is very interesting. I do know, I seen a lady up there tell the butcher, can I just buy a roast and you can ground it, around boneless rump roast, or round roast, round roast. And she said, and I'll use it. Can you fry that out into round for me? And they did, because it was $2 difference. The roasts were on sale for $3.99 a pound, and the round was $5.99 a pound, which is kind of ridiculous, but that's just what's going on with things. I did turn that down a tiny bit, and I'm going to go ahead and put these in. And I found out through the years, if you flour this meat, for some reason, it doesn't let the flavors from your sauce get into your meat and stuff and absorb the taste. Or it seems like to me the sauce sometimes just rolls off of it. So I quit flouring the meat a long time ago, but there's enough room for, I fixed 6 of these, and there's enough room for 6 in here. You don't want to overcrowd it. And like I said, guys, this is just to get, you just want to get a lot of the blood cooked out of your meat. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm used to touching things that's pretty hot. So like that. I'm cooking and being in restaurants and stuff, and cooking for years. Your hands actually are not as sensitive as you think to stuff like that. Anyway, let me see. I do have a piece of foil that I'm going to put over this when I put it in the oven. And it's going to take, depending on your oven, I would give this, you want to make sure it's tender when you go and it's cooked all. I would give these, I usually let it bake at 350 for about an hour and a half. And just to me, it seems like that's a good time on it. I've always had real good luck, and it's pretty tender, and it gives the sauce a chance to cook in and absorb. And here's the last 2 going in. I forgot to pepper those, but that's okay. I'm sure they'll be fine. Let me get that on here. Actually, in the back, but a little bit on this, like to get in there. So, and then this is just easy cleanup. I rinsed the thing off that they come. I almost got grease in it. That they come on, and I rinsed this little thing off and beat them out and press the moisture out of them, and just put parchment paper in between them. And so that's not going to turn down a little more. So that's where I'm at on this. That's what I did. And you want to be careful because this grease will pop because there's still a little bit, these were frozen, and there's a little bit of moisture in here, unfortunately. I couldn't get out. That's why anytime you have meat like this that you're going to fry, you're better if you take and blot it with a paper towel if you can. And that way you get all that, it flattens them out a little bit more. And then you get that water, excess moisture out that's going to pop on you. All right. Those are the last two pieces. And then I'm going to put this sauce over it. And the full, I'm going to put it in to bake. And I'm going to talk to you all a little bit about this Havana chicken I'm going to do Saturday. Like I said, I've not made it before. And it is a Cuban dish. And it's also got a lot of Hispanic flavors in it, flavoring. So the way I'm going to do it, you can use boneless, skinless chicken thighs, or you can use our boneless, skinless chicken breasts. And I'm not going to use the thighs. I'm going to use the chicken breasts because I have some. And instead of splitting them long ways, you cut them in half like this so they're thicker. And those are actually going to go into a marinade overnight in a bag. And it's got like cumin, it's got green olives in it, it's got garlic, just a bunch of different bay leaves. It's got oregano, onion. There's just a lot of different things in there. And a pinch of red pepper, hotter if you like stuff hot, and a little bit of hot sauce, and a little bit of broth. And it, like I said, that stuff's all cooked on the stove, and then or heated, or not cooked on the stove. It's mixed up in a bowl, and then those chicken breasts are lined up in the bag. You don't have to line them up exactly, but put them in there and just get the air out and put them in a bowl or a pan or whatever so they don't leak. But they do that overnight. And then the next day, you're going to put it in a baking dish like this, and you're going to put the marinade and the chicken and all in there, which sounded pretty easy to me. It takes about an hour, 15, 20 minutes on the chicken. And we're going to season black beans, and it's going to be served with white rice. But I'm also going to make a little bit of guacamole on the side. And you also use in that chicken dish, it has concentrated orange juice in it too. And you slice orange slices and wedges of lime, and then you have shredded lettuce and tomato slices, and the avocado or a little bit of guacamole, like with the sour cream on the side. And it's and those black beans and rice, and it just seems like something, instead of doing another fried chicken dish, I just decided I'm going to do that. Now, last Saturday, I was supposed to do the fried chicken and the waffles, and I got sick and couldn't do it. But my daughter actually did the waffles, homemade waffles, and the fried chicken. So we actually had that the other day. Very good. Her waffles were best I've had. I don't know when I'm going to have to get that recipe that she used. So anyway, I'm going to take this with this ladle, and I'm just going to dip this sauce that I mixed up. And like I said, it was a medium onion and 1 green pepper I diced up, and I put, I don't know, roughly a couple tablespoons of oil, a couple tablespoons of butter or margarine in a pan, let it melt, and I sauteed that lightly. And I took, this is a mixture of a can, the size of corn or green beans that you get, diced tomatoes, tomato sauce, and try to get the low salt or no salt or low sodium if you can, because it's pretty salty. And then I took a cup of water, and I took a half a beet bouillon and dissolved that in hot water. And I mixed in here, it was about three heaping tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons of butter. And I put about 3 tablespoons of flour when I mixed it with some warm water, and whisk it. Make sure you get all the lumps out, because that's what's going to help. It's actually going to help thicken the sauce on here. And then I put pepper. I didn't use any salt. I put some thyme in here, garlic powder, and I put some Italian seasoning in here. And I just tasted it to where it got the weight I wanted it to take. Like I want it to have a little bit of bite. Actually, if you want to, you can even take and put a little bit of red pepper flakes in a little bit if you really want to. I don't, but I mean you can. And of course, I told y'all I always use any of my tomato based items. I always take and use a little bit of sugar to offset the acid in them. All right, so anyway, that's the extent of the Swiss steak at 350-degree oven. You bake them for about, I'd say about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes to make sure it gets good and tender. And you can take, in the meantime, and get your rice made, which if I'm using rice, I usually use the jasmine rice. I rinse it very well till you get all the little grit and sand, little rocks out of it, and it rinses clear. And I just go according to the package instructions on how much water. And I put a little bit of salt in it when I take it up. I put a little bit of butter and olive oil on it, just to keep it moist and keep it from sticking. So, and if not, you can make homemade mashed potatoes to go with it and serve it over the Swiss steak. I mean, people have done it both ways. But anyway, that's what I figured would be good with that. Then next Tuesday, I've already got it scheduled, and I'm going to make homemade macaroni and cheese. But I'm going to, instead of making salmon patties, I'm going to make tuna patties. And salmon is pretty expensive. Well, canned tuna, and I use the tuna in water, is not too expensive. And I just use a couple cans of that instead of the salmon, and I make it exactly like I do the salmon patties, only I'm using tuna. And we're going to have homemade macaroni and cheese, and I'm going to cream some peas to go with that. And I'm going to make a fruit salad for y'all. That's really easy. I have, as you can see right here, I have my rice ready, and it's covered, and it's ready. So let me see if I can finish showing you on this lemon icebox pie how to do this. I think I'm going to be okay, and I can stick it back in here. Let me see. I'm sorry. It's right up against my refrigerator. There we go. Have to get that a little better situated. And then I do have the rest of the crumb topping from the cheesecake earlier that I showed you how I made the crust. And again, the crust is Great Value brand honey graham crackers. I used 2 packages, crushed them, 3 tablespoons of regular sugar, and it was a stick of butter. Mix that together, and I put that out and kept the rest here. I baked that at 350 for 10 minutes. The filling is an 8-ounce package of cream cheese. Make sure your cream cheese is softened thoroughly, or you're going to have lumps. 1 of the sweet condensed milk. I have a teaspoon of grated lemon peel, and I used 1/3 of a cup of fresh lemon juice. Make sure you strain it. You don't want any seeds or pulp in it. And I used 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And that's all. It doesn't have any eggs or anything because this is not baked, it's refrigerated. So there are no eggs in it. Because with those, kind of lemon pies. Those have to be, they have to be baked with eggs in them. And I don't really take this, this is the sour cream with some powdered sugar and a little bit of vanilla in it. I didn't make a whole bunch. I'm just gonna make little dollops like this. This is gonna go right back in the refrigerator, like this. And I'm not anything fancy, guys. I'm just, this is just stuff that I do, and I just, you know, I try to do things to make it look, you don't have to be a professional chef to make things look nice or have a little bit of flair to it or make it look appetizing. And I just took some strawberries, wiped them off good, and I halved them. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take them like this. And even though this isn't a cheesecake, it's a lemon icebox pie. This stuff, the berries also help break the sweetness of this lemon icebox pie because it is really rich. Really, I mean, it's really, really rich, guys. I'm gonna take these. I got some. I'm just gonna take and try to put them around and just kind of make it, if you can. Even you can even put it on the dollops if you want to, and just kind of make it look nice like this. Now, if you want to, which I'm going to do, you don't have to. I'm going to take and just lightly put a little bit of these crumbs that was left, graham cracker crumbs and stuff over this because just make it add a little bit more to it. And I don't have, that's just my recipe for that. I mean, it's just, that's the way I make mine. You might find something you prefer, you know, better, but this is what I do, and that's the finishing touch, you know, there it is. And it looks appetizing, and it's not hard to do at all. And it's really not that expensive. The graham crackers, I got that box for $1.88, the Great Value brand. And I got the Great Value brand sweetened milk. It was $1, either $1.03 or $1.06. And the cream cheese, there was a double pack of the Great Value brand, and they were $3.17. I only used one of those. And of course, you have your butter, and I used 2 lemons, which they were 33 cents a piece. And I had some strawberries I had in there that, I'm sorry, somebody's trying to call in. Hold on. Let me see here. That call. Anyway, I had some strawberries left and stuff. So I just went ahead and added those in there. And make sure you let this, it really needs to make sure your crust is totally cold before you put the filling in. And then this needs to go back in. And it's better if it can refrigerate for up to, I was saying better, 4 hours would be better. And like I said, I have the rice ready because that's what we're going to have with that. And the Swiss steak is in the oven. So that's what I have for y'all today. Again, I apologize for not being able to be on there and do the fried chicken with the waffles. We will make waffles, fried chicken another time. And get into some other dishes. I'm thinking about doing some homemade ham salad. Let me get this off here. Sorry. The homemade, let me move over here where I'm talking to y'all. Sorry, guys. The homemade ham salad, and I'm going to make some corn chowder. I'm going to make some corn chowder soup, but it's more of a creamy texture, like a clam chowder or a bisque would be, only it's going to be corn chowder to go with that. I'm going to do that one night. And then I'm going to do, had people ask about some macaroni salads and deviled eggs and different things like that. I have a tequila lime chicken I'm going to make too for you. It's really good. and pretty tasty. But I want to try this Havana chicken recipe and see. I thought it was interesting with the brown sugar on it as it bakes, and then has these green olives and all these tasty spices in it. And then, of course, I love black beans and rice, and you take and doctor season them up. And so, I don't sound pretty interesting to me. But anyway, that's what I have for y'all today. Thank you all for being here, and I will see you all later. And all y'all have a good evening, and I'll see you Saturday. Bye bye, everybody.